Okay, wow, where do I even start? I guess I can start with the title of this video. The title of this video is basically telling everyone my thoughts on this deputy and his actions regarding this serious situation. I have seen enough to be motivated, if you will, to make this video. I feel that there were a lot of things that were not taken into consideration. I have seen judgments being made without paying attention to the smallest details, and that really bothers me. I was chewing my fingers off while I was watching videos and reading articles about this. I cannot keep my mouth shut on this one. It isn't going to happen. So let's get this started. The video that motivated me to reply came from Live Life 8072. Now, LL, first and foremost, I want you to know that I do support your work. I may not agree at times, but I do support you regardless. I have supported you for a very, very long time, to be honest. I remember my mom being on her deathbed in hospice while I was simultaneously watching your show in the lobby at the hospital. I want you to know that I will always support your work, even if I don't agree with things that you have said. You have helped me in so many ways, and I thank you for that. I want to get all of the kitty cats and puppy dogs out of the way, so let's concentrate on the steak and potatoes here. Before I get started, I want to share a little bit of my background with you, LL. I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. Not only do I want you to know where I am coming from, I also want you to know that I have some experience in this type of situation. I was in law enforcement for 15 years. I protected and served the communities that I was in to the best of my ability, and I enjoyed it. I treated everyone the way that I myself wanted to be treated. It worked out for me in so many ways, and I enjoyed my interactions with others. The first thing that I want to mention is the whole race baiting thing. Yes, I agree with you there. As soon as something bad happens, the media takes it upon themselves to throw race into the picture. There are situations where the word race will be appropriate, though. Let's face it, there are racist cops out there. I even know a couple myself, to be honest with you. As far as I'm concerned, the racist ones do not deserve to wear a badge. So, in this situation that we are talking about, no, there was no racism involved. The media is just throwing everything against the wall just to see what sticks. They are absurd individuals who are only concerned with ratings and money. It's pretty pathetic if you ask me. One of the articles I have state that the sheriff said that he did not know if race was a factor in the case, but didn't believe so because Fields, who is white, has been dating an African American woman for quite some time now. The article also says that Deputy Fields has been the subject of racial bias and excessive force allegations in the past. I don't buy the racial bias thing because there's no evidence for that. Again, this is merely an allegation with no evidence to back it up. Complete horseshit, you know? I do stand by the excessive force thing because of the behavior that was displayed in this serious situation. Also, he is known in that school as Officer Slam, which contradicts what the sheriff said in his speech that I will talk about shortly. The next thing that I wanted to touch on is right at the beginning of your video, LL. You mentioned, and I quote, "So I guess we are supposed to promote the idea that it is okay for students to disrupt the classroom, and everybody out there is going to ignore the zero tolerance policy that schools have implemented over the years." To be honest with you, LL, I think that you and many others are looking at this wrong. Here's why. The people that were and still are coming to the defense of this young girl were not promoting the idea that it is okay to be disruptive in the classroom. They were speaking against the way that this law enforcement officer treated that young girl. I think that everyone knows that it is not okay to be disruptive in a classroom at all in any way, shape, or form. The zero tolerance policy of that school does not justify the way that she was treated. The department that he worked with didn't justify it either. That is why he was fired. Remember when I said Officer Slam and I talked about there being a contradiction? Well, I should have said that there were contradictions. The sheriff says Fields had no prior complaints against him during his 7 years at Spring Valley. If that is the case, then why do the students call him Officer Slam? This alone suggests that the deputy has done this before and gotten away with it. I am left with questioning the alleged competent position that the school has. It seems to me that there isn't one. The sheriff also says people shouldn't lose sight that the student's unruly behavior set off the incident in the first place. He was implying that she was responsible for what happened to her. Then he turns around and says, what she did doesn't justify what our deputy did. It doesn't justify his actions, but she needs to be held responsible for what she did. Let me tell you what I think, LL. She does need to be held responsible for what she did. However, she is not responsible for the ass beating that she received from the deputy. The sheriff said that the female student, who has not been identified, only suffered a rug burn, although her attorney said on ABC's Good Morning America that she has a cast on her arm, she has neck and back injuries as well. All of these injuries just for being disruptive in class? I don't think so. Then there is the issue of the third video that everybody was talking about. Apparently it showed her taking a swing at the cop. I do not condone this type of behavior. Ironically, I do have a question though. Why would the victim do that? Could the reason be that, according to witnesses, the deputy was grabbing her by the neck in a violent manner? I would feel that my safety is at risk if someone did that to me. What would have happened if she died from her injuries? I will tell you what would have happened. They would still be making the same lame ass excuses. You say, LL, that the cop was doing his job. Well, I have a question for you. Where in his rule book does it say that you have to literally body slam and drag a young teenage girl across a classroom floor just to get her to comply with commands? I guarantee you, you will not find it in their policy. He was not controlling the situation either. He was just making it worse with what he did. In the policy, there are ways that are legal to control the situation. He did not pursue any of them at all. What happens when an officer acts like this in front of others? They create fear and unrest. People start to lose trust with police officers out of fear, and rightfully so. It makes me angry and sad to see things like this. The first mistake the officer made was creating this situation in front of all her classmates, humiliating her at the same time, and putting the safety of other people in the classroom at risk. If she didn't want to move, he should have requested that everyone else leave the room, and then he should have talked to her to try to defuse the situation. If that didn't work, there were legal options for force. One of the articles in the description of my video talks about the sheriff mentioning legal options. Last but not least, I really love how people are so hung up on this respect authority thing. They are so hung up on this, they fail to see something that is very important and it needs to be discussed. Did anyone, and I mean anyone, talk about the mental capacity of this young girl? The reason why I ask this particular question is because it was mentioned that she lost her grandmother and her mother. That's right, they are dead. She also lives in a foster home. Her dad probably ditched her. Her mind is obviously not in the right place. This was never taken into consideration. Unfortunately, important things are never taken into consideration when a situation involves a bully with a badge. And that is how I see it. So thank you, LL, for giving me the opportunity to respond to your video. Please feel free, everyone, to share this video with anyone that might be interested, whether it be on Facebook, Google+, Tumblr, Reddit, Yahoo, or wherever you guys hang out. Till next time, the Quiet Atheist is out, and remember, if you can't be good at it. Most of all, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next video.